Alright, so I'm here with,
50 Shades of Field.
and this is Jazzy So Unique, and I will be asking him like questions about his trip so far with Memphis with us. So how do you like Memphis?
Okay, so for starters, I think that Memphis is a very beautiful city. I really like the people. I really like the environment. I think that they are, really true to themselves. I think that it is a very nice environment for people, especially tourists who haven't been, to get to know them, get to know a little bit more about the state, how they operate, how they do things. But I think that is so far. I really love the environment. The weather is a little bit different from what I'm used to, because we are from Chicago, so I think that the weather in general is a little. It takes a little minute to get used to, but I do enjoy the weather. I think that it's not a cloud in the sky, so I think that is really interesting about this state. But overall, I think that Memphis is a very beautiful state.
Okay, yeah, Memphis is very beautiful. You guys come in the summertime. Come in the summer, please. Okay, so my next question is, how did you like Bell Street?
Bell Street,
Or
I
Beale
think
Street?
Bell or Bill. It is a okay. So in the morning, I see it's so quiet and it's so reserved, but in the night, I see it's lit. It's on and busting. I love just during the daytime, it's so peaceful, but I love in the nighttime where you see the lights, you see the beauty of it in the nighttime. You see everybody out, they getting their drinks, they're enjoying themselves. You see a lot of tourists from different states, whereas us. But since this is my first time, I think that this was a very great first experience being in Beale Street, because I heard and know now that Beale Street is the biggest part of Memphis and the heart of their downtown. So I think that my first experience thus far has been amazing. And what I love about this city in general, it is not as a modern. It does not have a modern look, because from what we're used to in states like Chicago, it's very modern. They upgrade. This is not so much upgraded, and it's more vintage. It's more true to their culture,
Yeah.
and that's just what I find very interesting about Memphis, because it's so they don't change nothing. It's all their
They really
natural
don't.
roots.
It's different.
It's very different, but I love that it's like that. It doesn't have a modern look about it. It's not what I'm used to.
Alright, so getting back to question 2 about Beale Street. What did you like most about Beale Street?
Well, there are a lot of interesting restaurants thus far. I feel like there's still more to go around, but the one of the interesting restaurants that we've been to thus far that I love is the Jerry the King Lawler restaurant, which had which he had the memorabilia of all of the wrestlers, including him, all of the people he's met, just his history of being a wrestler. I just love seeing all of the different wrestlers that I'm used to: The Rock, John Cena, Randy Orton, Sting. Because I'm a former wrestling fan,
Yes,
and
me too.
yes, and so it was really good to see that he had his own store. Now his menu was a little bit more southern from what I'm used to, but from what I had, just in general, just the chicken sandwich and the fry, it was tremendous. It was like slap your mama chicken, and I really liked it because it was just mouth watering, and I just enjoyed just the overall taste in general. And what I really love about Memphis so far is the food.
Nice.
But more than just that, the drinks. We went to the place called Willie's where we had the drinks, and I feel like that's going to be a great spot to actually review. And then I had the Purple Haze drink, and just being out there, it's just that everybody's so free to be themselves. But my only downfall is the energy of the people is not as exciting. That's not a bad thing. It's not as exciting as from what I'm used to in states like Chicago or Atlanta. It's more reserved. So the energy is just a little mid, meaning it's a little more not as exciting, or not as, they don't really dance as much, from what I'm used to as being in Chicago.
But downside to that, they will speak to you
Yes.
once you say hi,
And-
or they'll speak, or you will speak to them, and then they'll speak back.
Yes.
All right. So, What was your favorite museum so far that we
So
went to?
we went to the Rock and Soul Museum, which I thought was very, very, very educational. It really, really opened my eyes about Elvis Presley, but more than just him, I learned a lot more about Isaac Hayes. I learned a lot about more about the fashion, the sharecroppers, the people who were picking cotton, how music inspired them in that era and that time because it was around that time where it was still kind of that slavery, but Memphis kind of brought just that music inspiration. Now that I'm learning that Memphis is one of the biggest musical capitals, one of, in terms of blues, jazz, rock and roll. I learned how important Elvis was because I know this is his hometown, but I learned about a lot of other people from who I've learned from are now from Memphis and people who are affiliated with Memphis in general, how music inspired this state. But yes, I think that this is I basically can now call this Elvis Presley
Yes.
capital. This
He's
is his.
known for Memphis.
Yes,
y'all.
this
He's
is it.
known.
And none of the things, just to jump back to the other question about what was my favorite part, the gift shops. Because all you seen was Elvis. I mean, you seen other people, you seen a little bit of Prince, you seen a little bit of, modern day artists, but you seen most of the older artists. You seen Jimi Hendrix. This is just what I've learned is a music capital. But yes, that museum I think was the best part, one of the best parts, because it showed just the history of Memphis and all. Learning more about Otis Redding, learning more about all of the original people from back in the day who, started out in Memphis and grew as artists. But yes, I really, really learned how Elvis really impacted this state. This was his capital, so now I call it Elvis capital. It's amazing. And then I seen a lot of cool T-shirts. But yes, just all in all, the museum and all. One of the most important things I liked about the museum was we had to grab the walkie-talkie or the little audio machine with the headphones, and I thought
was
that
very interesting.
that was very, very interesting. I really, really love that. Just together, putting in the numbers to read what each thing was and how it was, and then you learned about. Oh, another thing I want to mention is Al Green. I learned a lot more about Al Green. About how he was important to Memphis, Tennessee, and then you learn about a lot of the interesting fashion that they had back around that time in Memphis. So yes, I really, really, really just enjoyed that museum. But I really like thus far, the two museums we've been to, I would say the Rock and Soul was probably the best. But then we did go to the Memphis Hall of Fame Museum was the second museum we went to, and that was also interesting as well. And I really, really like how that museum, it kind of still piggybacks off of the Rock and Soul Museum. It still piggybacks, but it talks more a little bit about modern day artists like Justin Timberlake, 3 6 Mafia. So just in all, Memphis I feel like is a very inspirational city, but it's inspiration towards music as well. So this is what I'm learning more about it being in this different environment. That Memphis is a music capital, but it's Elvis Presley capital.
It definitely is. So overall, how do you feel about Memphis?
I think it is a great place thus far to if you want to do just like a weekend trip, to just go out and just enjoy. If you want to go somewhere that's more southern, that's more unfiltered, because I think this is a very unfiltered city. I would say this is a great place to visit if you are a tourist. Given that this is like a 3-day weekend, I think that this is a great idea if you want to just tour and get to know about the different types of foods, learn about the different types of culture, the culture in general. So yes, I really, really love it. Just all in all together, I think it's great. The weather a little bit is a lot to handle, but I still think if you just dress comfortably, you'll be fine.
And last but not least, what do you expect to accomplish from this trip to Memphis?
That is a really good question. I feel like thus far, what I've accomplished, I would take back from what I learned from here, and I would take back learning that Memphis was very inspirational to not just this state, just a lot of different people from different states. That they'll take back knowing just the history and all. It's because it's very historical, and this is what I love about it. It's not as modern, and this is what I love love about it. It's not as modern as you think of states like Atlanta or states like New York, even though New York is very modern, but it's not as it's not as modern. It's they're very, very true to their roots. They stay to their roots. You know, when you walk across Beale Street, you hear a lot of old school jazz. You hear a lot of, you hear just those and those they still keep it in there. It's still a little bit of new school they add, but they keep it to the roots, and that's just what I learned. But yeah, I think I'll take back just knowing the historical value of what this state means to their culture and the people who live here. I feel like I learned a lot just all in all. I feel like there's still more to learn, but I feel like I would take back knowing, hey, I learned about a state that is very historical, and it'll stay in my memory and be like, okay, I remember this, I remember this. So now, if it's anybody in the future who hasn't visited, I could be like, hey, I visit there. So this is where I feel you should go. This is where I feel you will learn more about. But yeah, I think I'll just take back knowing the historical value. Because I think it's very historical, and I think that's what's the most important part about Memphis.
It is, and you learn about a lot of jazz and blues artists, and then just what Memphis is about, just getting the type of vibe of how it is, and certain things that's not allowed, and then certain things you can do in Memphis.
Yeah.
It's a big culture shock.
Yes.
When you come here for the first time.
Yes.
But I am Jazzy So Unique.
I am 50 Shades of Phil.
Jazzy_Roy89.
Yep, make sure you follow me on TikTok, Real 50 Shades of Phil. You can follow me on Facebook, just my regular name. I can put it below in the description.